Okay, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Angela Alexander, and I'm here with my colleague Jean Tong, and we both support K-12 educators across Canada in their use of ArcGIS. So throughout the session, if you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A window, and Jean will be monitoring them, and we'll do our best to answer them after the presentation. CanGeo will be recording the session and they'll share that with you later. You require an ArcGIS Online account for this session. So if you don't have one, please go to k12.esri.ca to sign up. The link should be in the chat. In addition, I've added the link to the story map because there are some hands-on components that I want you to take part in. So thanks so much for coming, and welcome to the hands-on session to discover how students can use ArcGIS Online to engage in an activity and collaborate with others through maps. So today you're going to learn how you can get started and explore collaborative projects that have been completed by K-12 students across Canada. Today you're going to learn what a collaborative activity looks like, and you're going to get to try them out. You're going to also discover how to create a collaborative activity in just a few clicks. It'll take you under 10 minutes. And you're going to explore some examples of activities done by students from grades 3 to grade 12. And then you're going to get a chance to set up your own collaborative activity. So as we're going along in this workshop, I want you to consider the following. Do you have any ideas for your first collaborative activities? And are there any past activities that you've done that you can integrate into ArcGIS Online? So let's begin with what a collaborative activity is. So it allows students K-12, so all ages, to work on something together at the same time. So using ArcGIS Online, teachers can use these activities for fun, as an icebreaker, also to study some important issues in their community, and to, excuse me, and to begin the geographic inquiry process for a larger project. So the inquiry process can get students asking questions, acquiring resources, exploring and analyzing data, and then at the end, acting on knowledge or making recommendations for change. The following examples are great icebreakers that you can use in the fall. So I'd like you to go, and I'm hoping that you're following along in the story map, and you can go to the action here and add your own info. So the first one is sharing your summer activity. So here you can add, the activity that you've done, the type of activity it is, and then you can add the location of the activity. Either you can search for it on the map, or you can add the address or place, and then you can click submit. From here, you'll be able to see this map, and you'll see the results of you adding your information to the survey. The second one is sharing your roots, so adding the country of birth to the map. So this one is map centric. So this one allows you to go and find your place of birth and add in your information. So first you would put in your place. So let's just say Brazil. And then you can click on edit and then click on the new feature and then add that in here. And then you're done. And then the last one is adding information to a collaborative mapping journey. So you will see that you have a survey in here, and this will allow you to, you can click here and add that information within this tab, or if you want to open it up, you can click on this icon and this will open up to a different tab, and you can add your information. So what you're wearing, what the material is made of, what country it's manufactured in, and then you can submit it. Then you'll see the data in this map and then additional information in this dashboard. So you have some time. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go and add your information. So if you go to the Q&A or chat window to find the chat window to put in the story map link, to go to here, to this action area, and then share your summer activity, share your routes, and then wear, what you're wearing. So I'll give you 5 minutes to do that, and we'll have a look at those maps after. Okay, great. We're seeing more things happening in here. So this is awesome. Travel to Texas. Awesome. Great. Went to a wedding. Great. In the East Coast. Awesome. This looks like Montreal. Visited family. That's wonderful. And traveled to Washington, D.C. Great city. Okay, thanks so much for adding that information. Let's see if there's some information added to the routes. Okay. Okay, just I'm going to move on in terms of time. And so you have some examples there of collaborative activities that you can, create yourself. These are just some examples that we've put together. And as I mentioned, I think the first two would be great icebreakers. They're really easy to create, and I can show you how to do that in my demonstration section. So now you know what a collaborative activity is. Why should we use one? So they're really engaging, for students, for us, and they make it, they make learning fun and relevant. So for students, they're going to learn how they can share their knowledge with others. And that's always very powerful and empowering. They will also work with classmates on something together, which is, really great to get people working together. They also get mapping and project-based learning experience. So I know the examples that you saw earlier might not be exactly that, definitely the mapping experience, but the project-based learning, I'll show some examples very soon. And then students could learn from each other as well. So, it could just be a matter of understanding like, oh, this is where my friend's from or where her family's from. Or, if you're working together on something specific, they're learning and focusing on that particular, task. And also a collaborative activity is, hopefully fun. So, hopefully students will have a lot of fun doing that. So just some tips on getting started with creating a collaborative activity is thinking about a question. So this is really the basis of all of these types of activities. Is there an issue in your community or something you want to learn about together with your students? Or perhaps, it's something that the students take a lead in, having a vote on what issues they want to talk about and then eventually work on. Perhaps it's group work and or pairs, where students will do something in pairs. And then, that's where it starts, right? Beginning with that question. And then making it relevant to students, what matters to them. So I think collaborative activities can be great because they can really drive the activity. So some of the inspirational projects that we've been involved with are the two that are below. The first one is looking at a Toronto District School Board teacher who I worked with a few years ago on a school-wide survey project. And so this was really great because they started with an inquiry question. So now that you have this link, you can explore the project on your own time. But the central inquiry question is, what do the experiences of the students in our playground tell us about our school? So this project was really about looking at how students in actually it was a school-wide one. So it was a grade 3 class, but it involved the whole school. So they wanted to understand how students play during recess, and they learned so much from this particular project. And they were able to integrate so many different things in their learning. So the students, learned about math and, presentation skills and writing. They created story maps to present their findings and data analysis. So they really, the project was a collaborative project that started with creating something using ArcGIS Online, but then it was such a bigger project in terms of the learning goals. And so it incorporated language, social studies, geography, and the arts. So I think this is such an amazing project that is really inspirational. And, even if you take just pieces of it, it's great. And you can learn much more about it as you go through the story map yourself. So that was the first example. And then the second one is there's a school in Toronto, an all-girls school, that used Survey 123, which is an application in ArcGIS Online that you have access to create a survey on understanding water quality in the Don River. So students in grade 9, and it was an annual, it was set up as an annual project for all grade 9 students in geography. So they collected data on water quality along the Don River. And, these are all the data that they collected and then the methods that they used. And they were able to, go and, measure all that information and put that in a survey and then map that information and do some analysis. So these are just some great examples of what's possible. And of course, to begin, it could be just a very simple collaborative project like sharing your roots. Okay, so let's see how you can set up your own activity in just under 10 minutes. So the first two examples, there are 3 examples that I'm going to show you. And this is using ArcGIS Online. And keep in mind that these are only 3 examples. With collaborative projects, there are more ways that you can set things up. We're going to show you the 3 most simple ways. So the first one is creating your own empty feature layer. So a feature layer essentially is a data set or a database, and creating one from scratch. And you will see that it takes about 3 minutes to do. And it's going to allow you to set up this, database for students to be able to collaborate. And we're going to start by using the example of creating, a collaborative activity so students can share their favorite place in the world. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to sign into ArcGIS Online, and you're going to click on Content, and you're going to go to New Item and Feature Layer. Then you're going to click on Define Your Layer and go Next. And here you're going to add in the type of layer and the name. So we're going to put here Favorite Place. And we're going to leave it as a point layer. Then we're going to go Next. And we're going to put in the title and tags. So these are keywords that will allow you to organize your content, and you can find it and other people can find it if you're sharing it. So now we're going to add a description to this feature layer and a summary. So this is the description page that allows you to add in information about this particular content. Now we're going to go to settings, and here with the settings, I always delete protect everything just in case, and we have to change it to public data collection so it allows people to add information. Now here with the editing capabilities, you can change it to what you want. I'm leaving it so it can be publicly shared, and but you might not want to do that. You might want to have it so that somebody needs to sign in. So for now, I'm leaving it as that. And then I go back to the overview, and I can open up the feature layer, and I can save it. So this will save it as a map. And this is what you will be sharing with your students. And we'll put that title and the tags, and then we'll save that. Then we're going to change the symbology to something that you want. So we're going to stick with an orange star, and we can change the size of it and then save that. And then we can also, so you got to save it again, right? When you make the changes to your web map. And now we can go to edit, and we can click on that feature or search for the address first. And we can go back to the add feature section and click on that feature to add the location of my favorite place. And then click edit again to go out of the editing session. And you can see there it is. My favorite place is Paris. And we can also share that information to everyone. We can share it to this group, the CanGeo group, for workshops. I'm hoping you'll share your stuff later too. And then that's how easy it is. So that was in 3 minutes and 12 seconds. So this is creating a empty feature layer. So that's something from scratch. And now you're going to learn how you can create one with an existing feature layer. So what we're going to do is create something that's already there. So making a copy of it, but it's your own. And the copy will not take any of the data that's in the original. The copy will just take kind of the shell of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a copy of the Share Your Summer Activity. So the one that that most of you had answered. So we sign in, we go to Content, and then we go to New Item and Feature Layer again. But this time we're going to select an existing feature layer. And we're going to go Next. And we're going to go and search for that. So we can scroll down, or we can search at the top and go to Next. And from here, we can see it's a point layer. We're going to go Next. And we're going to leave those as defaults. And we're going to add the title and the tags as well. You'll see that tags are from the original one. You can delete them, or you can keep them depending on what you want, if they're applicable. And then we're going to save that. We're going to make add a summary and a description for this feature layer. That is now your copy. And then we're going to make some changes to the settings. Delete protection, and then changing those editing capabilities the way you want it. And then once you're ready, you can go and save. And from here, we can go back to the overview and we can open up, well, we can share. This is another way we can do it. We can share from here. So you could do it by the organization or publicly to everyone, and then you can save. And this will update the layer so it can be shared publicly. And then we can open up the layer and save it as a web map. So, but before we do that, we'll change the symbology to something that you want, and then and the size of it. So the symbols can be changed. And then once you're done, you can save as well. So now this one has a couple of attributes. We can see the activity and the activity type. So we can click on the editing and select the location of the activity and then add in your activity. So once we're done, we can go out of the editing and we can also save our map. So this will save everything, and the map is where you really want to be. Like, you want to share the map with your students. And we put in the tags and the title, and then we can save it. And when you're ready, you can share it with everyone. And this is sharing the map now. And this will update the layer to allow people to add information to it and share it to a group. You can also share this link with your class as well. So you can see that you can create a collaborative activity from an existing feature layer in under 4 minutes. And so you really don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can pick something that's, shared publicly and that you can create a copy of. The last example is how you can create a survey. So a survey is what you used for the example I used or showed you with the clothing. So you were able to add that information. Also, I think it was the first example as well, adding your summer activity. So this survey will be created using this application called Survey 123. So once you have an account in ArcGIS Online, you have access to many applications. And so Survey 123 is just one of them. And you can make a survey in a matter of minutes. So, and this would be the foundation for your collaborative activity. So let's have a look and see how this can be created. So we sign in and then we go to the applications button and we go to Survey 123. We can click on New Survey and then a blank survey to begin creating. We're going to add a title for the survey and tags. And then we can also add the survey title that the people that actually answer the survey will see. And we can start adding, the choices of questions that we have. As you can see, there are many, and they're all in different categories. So the first one we're going to add is actually the date. So the submitting date. So you can double click and it will appear in the middle. And you're going to put the label, submitting date, and then click on default value, submitting date. And then you can see there are other options below. And then we're going to go back to add. And this time we're going to add in a tree tag. So this is going to be a number, and we're going to drag this one this time. So you can see there's two ways to add different questions. So we add the label, and then the hint is like your teacher is going to give you this number. So we're going to make this a required question, and also, you know, there's other options. We're going to make it an integer as well. Then we're going to go back to add, and this time we're going to go and add a single choice. So this is going to be adding whether the tree is alive. So that's going to be the label. And we're going to put the choices in there: yes, no, and unsure, and other. And then you can see there's a batch edit. This will allow you, if you had a lot of options, you can copy and paste in there, and then they would appear in the choices. So you can also change the appearance of the question. And we can make that a required question. So now we're going to add a multiple choice question in here. And we're dragging it this time. So you can see there's another way of doing that. It's double click or dragging. This time we're going to say, why is the tree dead? So this is a conditional question that we're setting up. So we're going to put in not enough sunlight, vandalism, and then soil quality and other. So we're going to make this a conditional question. So if someone answers, is the tree alive, and no, they will be prompted to this question. So no, if no, then show question number 4. So you can see that. If no, go to question number 4. And then we can scroll down and make that a required question. Now we're going to add in a map. So they can add in a location of the tree. So I'm going to put that as a label. We're going to leave it at a point. And we can zoom in or just put in the country of focus that we want. I'm assuming Canada, so anywhere. It's Canadian educators and students. So there's other options below. We're going to make this a required question as well. And then we're going to go and add image. So if students want to include an image of the tree, they can. And we're going to leave it as browse image or use camera. And then we're going to go and add a rating question. So this one will allow them, we can see you can drag down the question to change the order. So we're going to put here, are you having fun? And then you can change the value in terms of the rating and the icon used. And you can make this also a required question. So now I've saved that, and I can change the appearance of the survey. And I can change the options in here. This is your thank you screen after people respond. So they can submit another one. You can activate that. And you can preview what it looks like. So you can preview, and you can also change the order of the questions. So we can preview what the survey will look like. And we can also test it to see if that's no, that question does come up. Somebody says yes, that question does not come up. And then we can see what it looks like on an iPhone and on a tablet. And then when you're done, you can publish it. And then we can go and collaborate, so sharing your survey. So at the top, you can see there's a link that you can copy as well. You can share this to everyone, to a specific group. So we can go to that CanGeo group and save that to that group. And then when you're done making your changes, you click on save. You can go to share your results. So what results do you want shared? You can copy this link. So you can see the different options there. Also adding to a group. And then you can save that. When you're ready, you can see that you can share your link and also open that with the link there. You can see what that looks like. And then we can go back to the design, make our changes, and then remember to save and then publish. So that's in a matter of 8 minutes. So you can create a survey. And once you've created your survey, you can create a web map to share your results and also just to share, with your colleagues as well, right? So below is a tutorial to show you how to do the setup, and then after you've set it up, how to access the survey in ArcGIS Online as well. So I just want to stop and see if there's any questions. Jean, are there any questions?
There have been, I'm just sorting out some people's accounts still.
Okay.
So there have not been any questions or anything come up in the chat. Just some questions, because of course, there's some people, some boards have single sign-on set up to make it really easy to access, but then, if something on the IT end at the board isn't set up, anyway, yeah, there's some questions, but some of it's out of our hands.
Yeah, out of our hands. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
But actually, in just saying that, and I think you might have said at the beginning, everyone does have free access to this. It's in English, it's in French. I mean, there's lots of languages, but hopefully, at least through the session, if you didn't get a chance to do some of the hands-on stuff, because we're still trying to set up your accounts in that, we can definitely connect with you again before school starts or during school to give you a hand.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, so thank you, Jean. So just to let you know, so if there are people that are ready to go, it's your turn to, try it out. So think about your question and let's keep it simple just for the first one, very similar to what, some of the examples that I use. So like sharing a summer activity, and this could be something you're setting up for September. So just think of that. And then we're going to create the first option there. So creating a new feature layer from scratch. So option number 1 to set up your first collaborative activity. And then, so that's up here. I'll show you. So right here, create your own empty feature layer from scratch. And, so you can follow along here and, get that going. And then you can also share your activities. So as I mentioned in the videos, just make sure to save it as a web map and share your web map. Make sure that they're both shared. So sometimes one is not shared and the other one is, and then people can't access it. So you want to share to the workshop group. So you can do that. And we made it as easy as possible. So you can just add yourself to the group and then add your item to the group. And then you're ready to collaborate. So maybe we can get people in the session to add to your activity. You can also learn more. So if you want to do, these larger projects, like the one Mr. Cushman's class, you can go and explore this fieldwork learning path, where you'll learn how to create your own project using the tools that are available to K-12 across Canada. And then you can also explore Discover Data, which is a tutorial looking at how you can search and add data to your map. So once you have a collaborative map and you have information, you want to add maybe additional information, like maybe demographic data, and we can access that using the Living Atlas data. And this tutorial shows you how to do that. So I will leave that to you to do. So you can do option number 1. If you really want to do another one, you're welcome to do that as well. But I recommend doing the first one. And if you feel good, you can do maybe the third one and come up with your own questions. Right now it is 3:52, and I know we're done here at 4:15. So I'd like to maybe give you some time for questions. So perhaps we can meet up again at 4:10. Give us 5 minutes for questions. So we'll do that. And I will be around. So if anybody has questions, just feel free to put that in the Q&A. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I see that there are some surveys that have been created, which is great. Gabrielle, that was great. And I just want to mention that for the collaborative activities, it could be a local, project. It could be for your class. It could be a school-wide one. It could be a school board one. We're always looking to work with teachers that have like any project that fits across Canada even. So if you have something in mind and would like to work with us, please contact us and let us know, because we're always interested in doing something like that. And I also write a blog post and love highlighting teachers and what they're doing and how they're using ArcGIS in like great ways. So keep that in mind. If that's something that you'd be interested in, please talk to Gina or myself in the future. And like Jean mentioned in the chat, we do support French as well. So we have a colleague, Arabelle Sauvé, who supports French educators, including French immersion. So please check out our French resources on our site. If you click on that FR in the little corner, that'll take you to the French side of our site. Does anyone have questions? I don't see any in the chat window. I've looked and just don't see any. But
there don't appear to be any questions, but I know it's 4:00, so I know that people are starting to, if they haven't already.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for participating and joining us for today. And I hope that you found the workshop really handy and something that you'll use in the fall. And if you have any questions, please contact us at k12@esri.ca. And now you have that story map. You can go and explore further on your own time. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Have a great rest of the summer. Bye.